Today, Alberta holds roughly 165 billion barrels of recoverable oil, the world's third largest proven oil reserve, behind only Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. The geology didn't change at the border, only the ownership did. And it wasn't just what was underground. Take British Columbia. The Columbia River begins in the Rocky Mountain Trench in southeastern.
Welcome back to another reaction video, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for clicking on this video.
Thank you.
Today we are reacting on why Canada is sitting on the most valuable land on earth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right?
They have minerals,
Islands.
they have oil, they have rare earth metals and things like that. Yeah, and then they also have the largest freshwater supply of any country. You know what? Let's find out.
I think it's a good thing we find out.
Subscribe. Let's go find out why this is a fact.
Okay.
Let's go. Play.
You've looked at a map of Canada and thought, big country.
No, they don't
It's the
start
second
well. Start.
You've looked at a map of Canada and thought, big country.
Yeah.
It's the second largest country on Earth.
Yeah.
It stretches from the Atlantic to the Pacific. It looks complete, like someone planned it. They didn't. The western half of Canada, everything from the Manitoba border to the Pacific, was divided by British officials sitting in London with a ruler and a handful of lines on a map. The borders don't follow rivers or mountain ranges, just latitude and longitude. The strange part is that those lines ended up enclosing some of the most valuable geology on Earth.
Wow.
So how did a handful of bureaucrats working from the other side of the Atlantic accidentally draw borders around resources that now feed billions of people, power nuclear reactors around the world, and help supply the global energy market? Because that's exactly what happened. And the answer begins with the most ordinary-looking province in Canada.
Britain, people sat in Britain and literally just follow great lines and said, yep, this is where the Canadian, like, the line is going to pass here.
Yeah.
If that's the fact, it's wild. That was crazy.
Extremely crazy.
Because most countries we know, like, their borders are following maybe mountains, rivers.
Yeah, most of the countries that I know, they always follow like rivers.
Yeah, mostly rivers are the boundary. But Canada, no, roller. Check straight, the 49 parallel. Then you have another lines of longitude. That was crazy. Oh my God. That was wild. And then coincidentally, you have Saskatchewan there that produces potash.
Yeah.
Alberta that produces oil.
Then you have Quebec that produces maple syrup.
And electricity too.
Yeah.
They said they are going to build the biggest electric dam in Quebec. We're going to check that.
I think it's a good thing we check it out.
Yes.
How the construction is taking place.
$80 billion.
What?
Tell you.
Because that's exactly what happened. And the answer begins with the most ordinary-looking province in Canada. The first place to look is Saskatchewan. On a map, it doesn't look remarkable. Just a giant...
It looks so coincidental that I mentioned Saskatchewan
And then the first thing...
The first thing is Saskatchewan. Oh my God.
First place to look is Saskatchewan.
Okay.
On a map, it doesn't look remarkable. Just a giant rectangle in the middle of Canada. But it's enormous. Overlay Saskatchewan on Europe and it covers Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and the Czech Republic, with room left over. And despite all that size, the landscape barely changes.
That's how big that province is.
Yeah.
It's bigger than Germany and so many other European countries, and then there's change. Wait, it is almost insulting how much I underestimate Canada. Every time I always fathom me less than it actually.
I don't even know what I was doing before. Like,
I've
where
never...
were all these things? I should have known about all these things because this is
Even now that I know, I'm always surprised at how big their provinces are.
Yeah. How can one province be bigger than a country?
Countries.
Than countries.
And it's not even one of the largest provinces though.
To begin with.
To start with.
Despite all that size, the landscape barely changes. Flat prairie stretches for hundreds of miles in every direction. And flat doesn't just describe what Saskatchewan looks like, it explains how it formed. Hundreds of millions of years ago, this entire region sat beneath a shallow inland sea, long enough for layer upon layer of sediment to accumulate across the bottom. Then the sea disappeared. What it left behind shaped Canada's economy long before there was a Canada. The first gift that sea left is obvious: some of the most productive farmland in North America. The second is almost completely invisible. Buried nearly a kilometer underground are mineral deposits unlike anything else on Earth. And that's where the story takes another turn.
Wow.
That buried gift is actually two different resources. One helps feed the world, the other helps power it. The first is potash. Beneath southern Saskatchewan sits the largest concentration of potash ever discovered, about 40% of the world's known reserves.
I always known that Canada produces potash. I didn't know they're producing almost all of it. 40% of world's
40%.
production.
That's the thing that I can't. Potash.
Yeah.
Potash is what is used to.
Potash is used to produce electricity.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
40%.
Potash is the
40%.
primary source of potassium in commercial fertilizer, one of the three nutrients modern agriculture depends on. Remove it, and crop yields collapse. Think about what that means. Modern agriculture feeds more than 8 billion people. It only works because farmers can continually replace the nutrients crops remove from the soil. Potash is how they replace one of the most important ones. If Saskatchewan were its own country, it would be one of the world's most strategically important agricultural suppliers. Not because of what grows on its farms, but because of what's buried beneath them. Germany produces about 3 million metric tons of potash each year. Saskatchewan produces more than twice that, from a province that most people drive through without a second thought. But fertilizer isn't the only thing hidden underground. The second resource is uranium. The Athabasca Basin covers much of northern Saskatchewan. It contains the highest grade uranium deposits ever discovered. Mines like Cigar Lake and McArthur River contain ore that's roughly 100 times richer than the global average. That changes everything.
The video we did yesterday, we saw this on that video, where they said the uranium had 20%, like the uranium ore has 20% concentration.
Yeah, we saw it.
This is, and they are not the same. They are not videos from the same channel.
No.
That's wild.
They are just like, how could I put it?
Fact, they are bounded by facts.
Yes.
Changes everything.
Confirming
Less rock
fact.
has to be mined, and less material has to be processed. The same amount of fuel can be produced with a fraction of the effort. A single fuel pellet about the size of your fingertip contains roughly the same amount of energy as a ton of coal. Today, uranium from northern Saskatchewan powers reactors in France, South Korea, the United States, and the United Kingdom.
Nah, the United States doesn't need Canada,
Not at all.
says Donald J. Trump. No, we don't need Canada. I heard he's starting a new trade war with Canada to levy 50% tariffs on Canadian.
Again,
And
after you come and be saying the United States don't need Canada.
and now he later on said nope. False alarm. We're not putting more tariffs on Canada. Then few days later, like he's literally just everywhere.
But why will the president be speaking? Normally, as a president, when you say your thing, you're supposed like it needs to be accurate and maintained.
We had to stand
and
right.
then you have to think about it. Like we think about
Take
it
your
before
time
you
and
take
do
it to
it,
the
yeah.
before you say it in the public. Because once you're a president and you say something today,
And then come
tomorrow
and reverse it.
you are really the citizen will just lose your trust on everything.
Your
you say.
credibility is destroyed. But
Yeah, it's
but in the
going
USA,
down.
no matter what Donald Trump does, there are people that will they will just lick his bottom over what everything that he says. Like if he says the sky is green, There are people that will just say, "Yep, he said so. It's green." You know, he says every day that the USA.
Okay. Let's just assume he says the sky is green and people believe. How about he get up tomorrow and say that the sky is black? No.
People will still believe. There are people that are behind him, like every day they support him in everything that he says and does. They don't care what, as long as it comes out from his mouth, they support it. And 99.9% of the things that come out from his mouth are not true. Yeah, it's based on strictly money and every other thing. I love the US. I can say for a fact. I'm one of the big fans of the United States. I will not hide it. Canada.
Like the United States, I used before when I was growing up, I used to know that it's one of the best countries.
Of course, it's a great country. It's a great country. But some administrations have really destroyed the relationship with Canada, especially this administration.
With not just Canada, even some other countries.
Almost every country. Except
Which is so
for
bad. The almighty US.
except for struggling so hard to repair, form good relationship with Russia, North Korea, and like just voting against simple resolution in the United Nations that should condemn aggressors around the world, they will abstain or outright vote against it, which is crazy, right? It's something that I don't find funny. I don't find it good, and just to the disrespect that it comes from him towards Canada and every other country, especially European country.
Yeah,
He literally
for the
hates European countries.
really damn. I mean, it's kind of like really pronounced.
Yeah, he really hates Europe. He absolutely hates European countries, and that's because he wants everybody to kiss his boots, and when everybody's not doing it, it's crazy. I'm not doing political content, guys. I don't. But I don't like to see when a country is trying to, not a country, an administration is trying to push people down, and people will follow the government and do that because once it's doing that, some people, especially in the conservative cycle in the USA, it's mostly MAGA. The thing is a good talking point for them to come out and talk like Donald Trump and support whatever he's saying against their neighbor to the north, which is absolutely crazy.
States and the United Kingdom. One province, one ancient sea, two resources the modern world depends on. And Saskatchewan isn't the only place where this happened. Take Alberta. The 49th parallel, the line that separates Canada from the United States for most of its length, was agreed to by treaty in 1818. They weren't thinking about oil. The same geological formation that produces oil in Montana and North Dakota continues north across that line into Alberta. That's where it becomes the oil sands. Today, Alberta holds roughly 165 billion barrels of recoverable oil, the world's third largest proven oil reserve, behind only Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. The geology didn't change at the border, only the ownership did. And it wasn't just what was underground. Take British Columbia. The Columbia River begins in the Rocky Mountain Trench in southeastern British Columbia, before crossing into the United States. By the time it reaches the Pacific, it has generated more hydroelectric power than any other river system in North America. Roughly 40% of the Pacific Northwest's electricity comes from Columbia River dams. The dams are American. The water begins in Canada. Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, different resources, the same pattern. If resources made countries wealthy on their own, Canada shouldn't be unusual at all. So why is it? Natural resources don't automatically make countries wealthy. In fact, history is full of countries where they've done the opposite. Nigeria has oil. The Democratic Republic of the Congo has cobalt, coltan, and gold. Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves. None became prosperous because of those resources alone.
Yeah. You look, Venezuela, Nigeria, DR Congo, they have all these resources. Even us here, we produce oil, but not much. But
Yeah, but I think
it's enough to make us rich.
Nigeria is actually
A big oil producer. But no, we cannot use that to develop our countries. We will rather
Sell it up.
We would rather blame other people for colonizing us and not do anything about it. Okay. Not downplaying colonialism by any means. It was evil, it was disgusting, should never be tried. But if somebody burned down your house, how about you pick up the remaining material and build a new house? Then pick the remaining material and stand and complain. Right? If our governments were taking all this money and building our economies, building universities for research, building roads,
Good hospitals, healthcare facilities.
why would you have time to blame people? Because we spend all the time, any little thing, the government mobilizes the population and say, look, it was European colonialism that make us to be here today. Why your children are schooling in Europe? Why your wife goes to Europe to go and give birth? Why, when you have any emergency health problem, you don't trust your doctors? They need to airlift you to France, to Germany, to Spain to treat you. Have you ever heard the Prime Minister of Spain moving to Africa for health treatment?
Yeah.
No. In fact, he will not even go to Germany. He will be treated in Spain because he knows that his country has the capability to treat him. Because they invested in their country.
So much.
No, we will not build our universities to standard, research centers to standard, routes to standard, airport, nothing. We have all the time to blame other people. Did the people do wrong? Yes. Were we even culprits into it? Yes. Because our grandparents sold those people out.
Yeah.
Yes. But that was evil. That was totally very, very evil and bad. But how about now? Because those people who did all those things, none of them is alive today.
Again.
Let's build ourselves. But no, a politician will buy a car for $500,000 to drive on a road that is not paved. And he's the one who is supposed to pave it.
That's the worst thing. That's how crazy it actually gets.
I mean, why is
Because how can you be driving a car of $500,000 on a car that is not paved,
on a road that is not paved?
Then it's supposed to be your work, like your duty,
to pave it. How? Why is Switzerland rich? All the politicians, they take money to go save in Switzerland. You know, so it's something that is so disgusting, guys. I always like to step back from what is the narrative is and really talk about the things we should be talking about. You know, if you were not taking money here and building and investing on real estate out of the country, your country will be growing. But it's more easy to go to the TV and ask the TV to blame other countries. Hey, population, I know you guys are having a bad time. I know you don't have jobs. I know you don't have health facilities. But look, we were colonized.
Good water system.
Yeah, we were colonized back in the 60s. And we were colonized back in the 1880s and 18 something. So don't hold us politicians. Nope. Look, Europe did that for us.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that I'm having 4 Rolls Royces, my children are all schooling in the United States.
Yes.
I go for vacation in Europe. But look, don't look at me. The problem is coming from Europe.
Right. God.
It's very easy, you know. It's easier than building a road line.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You just tell people, no, the problem is not from me. Though last year I collected 500 billion. Don't look at me. The problem is coming from Europe. I can't use the money because we were colonized. I can only use it on myself and my family and my friends. You can't blame me. We were colonized.
No.
Yeah, but that is modern colonization. We were colonized by politicians. I talk about Africa, almost all the African countries. Yeah. How about Canada? Wasn't Canada colonized?
It was.
The United States was. India was.
But see how they have changed.
They have changed their country, they have built their economy, but we keep bitching about it. But anytime we touch this topic, it's very sensitive. Okay, I'm talking as a black person who lives in a country that was colonized, and I wouldn't spend my days blaming somebody for something they did to my parents, and I would not build my own life. I would dwell on it, even if they give reparations now. how much would it be? At the end of the day, only politicians that are there will eat the money. Yes, if Britain comes there and say, sorry guys, why would this was horrible? Take $2 billion. Nobody is going to see it. Me today, my life will not get better. The politician's life will get better and more easy. Yeah.
No. A lot is happening in the
Yeah,
background.
all these rich countries, they have all those material. That's why I'm saying resources is not equal to development. In fact, most of the time it's even a curse because people keep fighting over it. That's why I see in Nigeria there's fighting in DR Congo. Everywhere you find resources, Central Africa, there's fighting and all of that.
Economists even have a name for this pattern: the resource curse.
I see.
When governments can fund themselves through resource extraction instead of broad-based economic activity, they have less incentive to build the institutions that create long-term prosperity. So why doesn't that describe Canada? Because Canada's advantage wasn't just the resources, it was everything around them. The resources happened to lie inside a politically stable country with strong institutions, reliable infrastructure, and access to capital. Just as importantly, they happened to sit next to the largest consumer market in human history, the United States. Resources only create wealth if someone can extract them, transport them, finance them, and buy them. Canada happened to have all four. The contrast shows up on almost any map of the country. Nearly 90% of Canadians live within 100 miles of the US border. But most of the country's resource wealth lies hundreds of miles farther north. There's even a place called Uranium City, built almost directly above the highest grade uranium deposits ever found. Today, it has roughly 70 residents. The most valuable geology on the planet, and it's essentially a ghost town. Canada is really two different geographies sharing one set of borders. The bureaucrats drew one country. The land drew something else. Which brings us back to where this story began.
Yes,
Go
sir.
back to that map of Canada. At first glance, it looks complete, like someone planned it. They didn't. Much of Western Canada was divided long before anyone understood what lay beneath it. The people drawing those lines weren't trying to capture the world's largest potash reserves, or the richest uranium deposits ever found, or the third largest proven oil reserve on Earth. They couldn't have been. Most of those discoveries were still decades away.
I feel like God is great. God is amazing, right? If they were drawing borders today when we have technology to detect resources, they will never be able to draw borders.
Yeah, never.
Nobody will be ever able to draw borders because now it's only like about the 1950s, 60s, and something like that is when people really started discovering the worth of their own land, like the resources that is on their own land. If it has stayed just a bit, the world would have never been able to draw boundaries.
Not at all.
Yeah, because if a country find out that there's oil there and the boundary is passing and cutting that oil to that side, they say, nope, our boundary has to go that way.
Yeah, so they can grab
Yeah,
that
grab
oil
that
and
one.
bring it to their country.
Yes, it's just like a coincidence, like some window in history where people finally draw borders and then begin to find out what is inside those borders. Because if they would have drawn it with any amount of technology or sense, that no, there would have been a lot of fighting.
Like real dumb fight.
Yeah.
The lines just got there first. Canada isn't sitting on the most valuable land in human history because it made smart decisions. It's sitting on it because geology doesn't read maps. If you want to see how these same geographic principles might shape the next century, I made a video about 4 overlooked countries that could be far more important than they are today. I'll link it here. The world has a structure. Let's keep finding it.
Let's keep finding it, sir. It's one of the deepest videos we have done.
It really did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, beautiful people.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
watching.
Please do not forget to go support us in our Buy Me a Coffee page so that we can be able to
Travel to this beautiful country.
and see things for ourselves. I mean,
Go to the prairies of Saskatchewan. Manitoba and Alberta.
Yep.
Love you, Canada. You deserve respect.